Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM22 story, The Head Coach with me, Daniel. It's part 19 today and we are back with Cefn Druids as things are hotting up in the Welsh Premier League. Of course, TNS not part of that, they are running away with it without European group stage football this year. But the rest of the table is very tense. 7 points separating Pennybont in 6th and Connah's Quay in 2nd. We're right in the middle of that mix. And actually, all the way down to Bala, it's 10 points separating 7 teams. It's going to be a very close season. Nothing like last year where we were able to run away with things a bit. And to be honest, despite the fact we're starting to get results now, at no stage have we looked convincing this year. There is some positive news off the pitch, and there is a job application that I've sent in. We'll wait and see if we hear anything back on that. I doubt it. If you're looking forward to the episode though and you are still enjoying the series, please do chuck a thumbs up on it. Subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on for daily FM22 videos from 2 long-term stories. Tomorrow we start our regular schedule. The day job has returned, and with that, unfortunately, we're back to 1 video a day from FM22. So tomorrow we'll be back with a big transfer special from Hemel Hempstead, and then this one will be back on Wednesday at 3:30. Of course, that pattern continuing for the rest of the year. We have, though, from tomorrow got specials from FM22 Mobile, so still double uploads this week. Keep your eyes peeled for that tomorrow morning. But a massive thank you for your support as always, both here and over on Twitch, and of course the podcast channel too. But let's have a look at what's been happening since you were last here, because we've got what are pretty big games today, I would say. We're trying to chase trophies this year, and that's going to be the cups, realistically, isn't it? So Bala Town, a side we've struggled with a bit in the league this year, we're coming up against in the cup, not the friendliest draw in the world. And then we've got Connah's Quay at home, who are currently in 2nd place, so it is a very big one for us. Leading into it, though, it's been a bit of a mixed bag, if I'm being totally honest. You were with me, of course, for Barry Town United and Cardiff Met Uni at the end of September and start of October. We followed it up with a little bit of good form without really being convincing. We won 2-0 at home to Pennybont, Nick Roberts and Jake Cassidy getting goals at the start and end of the second half. A 1-1 draw away at Flint Town, Christian Marr equalised, but it was a tad disappointing. Home to Aberystwyth, I promoted Nathan Nichols and just gave him a go up front. It worked. He scored a goal, as did Sam Jones, his first for the club from the penalty spot. We got a 2-1 victory there. Then against Bala, same experiment didn't quite work out. Nick Roberts off the bench to score a late one, but the game was already over at that point. We had a morale boosting friendly, which again we almost got embarrassed in. A 4-1 win though against Aberystwyth, where we looked much better going forward. Nick Roberts got a hat-trick, Daniel Malone got one, but Rio Gleam pulled one back in the second half. Bit of revenge for the game we saw 2 episodes ago though. And then last time out, after a TNS defeat, which was always going to come, we beat Haverfordwest 3-2. It was a vintage performance from the 2nd minute onwards. We came out the traps woefully, but then we still gave them a grandstand finish. We looked poor at the back. Coley in goal is starting to make some silly mistakes, but Cassidy's brace and Nick Roberts getting one was enough to get us the 3 points. However, the big news has come off the pitch, because finally, Cefn Druids have allowed us to study for a coaching badge. It's taken 2.5 years. We did get Welsh Premier League Manager of the Year last season as well. I thought I'd point that out while we're on this screen. But we have now got the opportunity to do a coaching badge. So that will help us in getting a new job. And we are out of contract at the end of the year, so there's not much in terms of compensation. I have applied for the odd little thing and generally not even been shortlisted. However, a slightly different job has come up in the last week. We've talked about it a lot in the last 1.5 years or so. And now I thought I'd chance my arm. The Newport County job has come up and I've applied. Problem? Gary Monk's the favourite. And I don't think, against a man who's got good coaching experience, last managed in a championship, and has got a Continental Pro licence, we're going to stand much of a chance. But we've applied, and if we are going to get a route into the English leagues, that's probably the sort of way we're going to be doing it. I've tried jobs to the extent of semi-pro in the Northern Irish Premiership, in the Irish Premier League, in the Republic. I've also tried National League sides. It's just not working. Stevenage again, their job's coming up every 3 months. And they're rejecting us every time. I'd love to get that job because it'd be a very easy and cheap one to commute to. We could go back and live at home rather than having to pay for accommodation. But unfortunately, doesn't look like we're going to get jobs like that. So it's probably an ambitious one. I'm not even going to bother with Swansea at this stage or Bristol Rovers. But I'm just intrigued to see what happens with the Newport one. Whether the location is considered a factor and whether the fact we're now studying for a coaching badge will help. Having said that, the best way we can help ourselves is by continuing to qualify for Europe, and we've got to start by either winning a Welsh Cup or getting back up into the top 3. So let's start with the game against Bala, who did beat us last time in the league. We've got the usual opposition instruction to close down the keeper, not quite sure why. And I think the problem this season, if I'm being really honest, is I don't know what my best front 2 is. Roberts will have 2 good games, then 2 poor ones. Cassidy's had spells where he's been great and spells where he's been appalling. Sam Jones hasn't got going at all. Nichols has come in, looked okay, then dropped out again. Christian Marr does a job when he comes on, but doesn't take all of his chances. It's frustrating. Ben Coley is out of form in goal, and we haven't got a good backup. So I think as a result of all of that, we have to stick with this. On a side note, Yelani Bayo has handed in a transfer request. He was given that big bumper deal as a star player in the summer, despite being part of our backup team then. And now he wants to leave because he's not playing regularly. I completely understand that. Our 11 for today, though, the one we're going for, is Ben Coley in goal. Kane Lewis and Steve Peters the fullbacks, with Lever and Edwards at centre-half. Dyer and Edge the wingers. Carey and Malone the midfield 2. And then Roberts and Cassidy up front. They are the top 2 goal scorers. They're the 2 we're going to go for. And with only 5 subs today, we've just had to spread out as best as we possibly can. So into the cup tie we go. I'd love to go on a run. We're still doing well in the League Cup. We'd love to do well in the Welsh Cup. If we can win a trophy, that adds something else to the CV. Let's see if we can. Of course, I'm talking about it like this is the final. It's the first round we're playing in. Reece Taylor's in goal. He's a good number 1 for them. The likes of Walker, Rice, Hesketh, Waite and Sang have all scored goals against us before. Lasana Mendes, a really good pro in the middle too. But we're going to ask the lads to carry on. If they play that way going forward and then start to find their defensive form, we could be a pretty good side. But that, unfortunately, this season just hasn't really happened yet. Not with any consistency anyway. Bala are playing their usual central formation. If they can play it effectively, it will of course cause us problems, but they've not often been able to do that in the past. And the first quarter of the game has gone by with nothing to see. So let's see if the rest of the half continues the same way, because this does not look like a good game on paper, does it? Got a feel for the 231 fans. And there it is. No highlights before the break. A pretty dominant performance according to the stats, but absolutely nothing to show for it. And this is the thing. The last games, or the last 2 league games, other than TNS, we were brilliant going forward, awful defensively. And now we look like we've got neither again. We're good at the back, but we can't get goals. So this one's crossed in from the left. Taylor pips it off Nick Roberts' head. I wouldn't have banked on him to score it anyway, as Lever gets it from the long kick to Peters, to Charlie Edge. Can he get down the wing and put a cross in? I think his waning ability is probably one of the instrumental factors in our decline here. Now that's a great switch of play to Rio Dyer. He delivers to the back stick. Charlie Edge is up. Heads it straight into the keeper's arms. It's a lovely move, but we're not getting the strikers on the end of it. Why is the target man not at the back post trying to attack the ball? I don't understand. As Coley comes out from the back again. Big ball downfield. Cassidy will chase, but it's overhit and it's straight through to the keeper. No idea why we saw it, unless this is leading to something special. But it really wasn't good, as Walker Rice is in from the goal kick. What on earth was that? Where is the defence? Walker Rice got on the end of a goal kick that went 3/4 of the pitch, and at no point did he have someone within 2.5 yards of him. It's scary. I don't know what the left centre-half Lever's doing. I don't know what Steve Peters is doing at fullback. And again, these are the defensive errors and just the moments of silliness that we didn't see last year. And ultimately, it's going to be what costs us, because if we go out the cup at the first attempt, we're really in big trouble, because it is possibly our best chance of getting into Europe as it stands. We have had more shots on target, but nothing's been clear cut. And again, the front 2 now are having a shocking game. It's just impossible to get consistency out of our strikers. So Jones will come on for Cassidy. Rio Dyer, he's got the best natural fitness in this team, but for some reason, he just cannot stay fit. He's always the most tired, and I don't know what causes it. But he is the best player on the pitch at the minute, so I'm going to leave him be. At right back, we'll replace Kane Lewis with Yelani Bayo. I don't know what to do with the third one, so we'll leave it 5 minutes before making a decision. But this has not been a convincing performance. And again, going forward, after 2 great games, we've now got nothing. For the final sub, I'm going to have to take off Dyer because his fitness isn't improving. I don't understand it this year. My best player in the Hemel Hempstead save in terms of natural fitness is Cole Quay. He's always the most tired, despite being a centre-half. And the same here with Rio Dyer. As Edge delivers a ball in, I mean, he's crossed it into the goalkeeper's arms. There's not even a striker in the box. What's he doing? The decision-making's off. The instructions aren't really being followed for the first time in a while. And there's not a huge amount of new players in the team, so it is a big worry. Sam Jones wins the flick on from the kick though. Can we nick a result? It just doesn't look like it, does it? It looks very bitty. It looks very inconsistent. It looks a little disjointed. And considering the team cohesion's good, the tactical familiarity's strong, I'm really surprised by that. It's the one thing I didn't expect to see. As Wyatt, what on earth, has just run through the whole team. The midfield disappeared. Carey was out on the right wing trying to win a header. No idea why. In the middle at the back, we've not done a great amount. I mean, to be honest, Lever's had an awful game back there. And we're now in a position, as Peter heads another one off the line, where I don't know where the result comes from. We're reliant on set pieces and crosses into the box. And our open play quality has dried up, though Ian Rees breaks away on the right into Nick Roberts, headed away as far as Hesketh. Only one player in the box again. We've had more shots on target, but as you know, we haven't seen many of them in highlights. We haven't produced any great opportunities. And it looks like we're going to have a deserved defeat, as Peters throws in from the left to Edge, back to Jones. Peters again, can we rescue it? Edge gets towards the byline, crosses in, Roberts at the back post unmarked. Oh, we've nicked a result. I don't know if it goes to a replay. I think it's extra time in the Welsh Cup. But we don't deserve that. Not in a million years, because we didn't create anything great. Yes, we had more chances, but it's easy to do that. The difficulty is making them look good and actually producing good opportunities. We've been given a second opportunity to win the game, though, so let's take off Lever, who's just had a shocker. We'll bring on Jesse Naylor as the second centre-half. And hopefully, with half an hour added on, we'll be able to find a goal. We've got a fresh striker up top, a fresh winger on the right. I'd like them to be instrumental as Malone finds Yolani Bio, chipped over towards Roberts, headed as far as Carey, to Jones, to Roberts. Lovely interchange, and Nick Roberts puts it in. Jones with the assist, he did contribute to that goal, but that's fatigue in the Bala defence. And again, without being convincing in any way, shape or form, we look like we might sneak a result again. And we have improved later on. Half time and extra time reach, no more chances, no more goals. And I'll take that. Bala's opportunities have sort of faded in this half, and we've been able to get on top. But again, it's not been hugely convincing. They're going back to a more defensive shape, and it's Nick Roberts who saves the day. He's certainly still our number one striker, despite others probably overtaking him in terms of attributes. And it's Bala Town who go out of the Welsh Cup. They don't deserve that. But Cefn Druids nick a 2-1 win. We continue to stay in decent form despite playing really poorly. And we'll be back in a minute to face Connah's Quay, where surely we'll have to be better to beat the second place side in the league. I'll see you there. Back after 8 days rest following extra time in the Welsh Cup to face Connah's Quay in the race for second place in the Welsh Premier League. And it's now got even tighter. Due to results so far this weekend, Connah's Quay in second and Pennybont in sixth, now just 4 points apart. And it's absolutely crazy. If we win this, we'll probably be in fourth, but on goal difference behind Cardiff Met Uni and Connah's Quay. If we lose it, Connah's Quay start to look like a runaway second, and we're then scrapping it for fifth and sixth. So that's how quickly things can change at this level. It's not been the best week off the pitch either. We have had one bit of good news, which is our youth intake preview. Though again, like we've mentioned in other years, it's hard to judge what's good and what isn't. What we have had is both Newport County and Stevenage, albeit politely, basically laugh in our face for applying. We've also had a pretty big injury to Jesse Naylor. He's going to be out for up to 5 weeks with a damaged foot. And then the other news was the youth intake preview, which is much better. And it looks like we might be getting a good fullback out of it. The rest of it's not very good at all. So I'm guessing there's either 2 or 3 excellent fullbacks, or a couple of these are better than he's made out. So that's what we've got to look forward to later in the year. I presume we'll still be here because we're getting laughed at by every club when we apply for a job. So I think it's going to be a while before we see any action on that front. Let's get to the tactical meeting though and play our league game against Connah's Quay. We're pressing Declan Wheats this time, not a goalkeeper for once. Let's see what 11 we can put together. Of course, Jesse Naylor is not going to be on the bench, so Luke Naylor will replace him. We're sticking with Nichols and maybe Jones goes in for Cassidy because he is better on paper and he's finally scored a goal. He's retiring next summer too. That looks good, doesn't it? What a signing he's turned out to be. The rest of the team will stay the same because it is our strongest 11. And the only one who was really poor last time out, Lever, is now free because Jesse Naylor's got injured. So we've got 4 weeks without a good backup. So the 11 is the same, bar Jones who comes in for Cassidy. He drops to the bench. Now let's see if Rio Dyer can stay fit, if the team can produce a performance, if we can beat Connah's Quay, who quite often have been our bogey side this year. And here is the Connah's Quay team. Of course, the likes of Weeks have strongly improved the side. They've got Michael Falevi on loan from TNS, who's a top-class player. The likes of Jake Howes and Dean Ebb, regulars for them, are on the bench now. They were last season's stars. They've got Lewis Lynch back in the team. The youngster who's improving. They signed from Pennybont last year. Hosey at right back's a good player. Gray was a good goalkeeper signing last January. They really are improving, and they're getting, if anything, probably closer to TNS than they are to the rest of the pack. So I think they're going to eventually run away with second. They have shown inconsistency in the past though, and they've set out very defensively because of their manager. And early doors, we win a free kick which Charlie Edge takes. Thunders off the woodwork and Reynolds heads clear. But Edge picks it up on the left wing again, in towards Sam Jones. Loses out for a target man who's 6'2". He really doesn't win many headers. Certainly not when he's being challenged. But a good start, a promising start. Can we make it count though? It's all good having these chances like the Bala game. Don't start scoring them, it's going to be a very long season. And as if it couldn't get worse, Josh Carey has now got injured and he's coming straight off as well, so I'm guessing it'll be a bad one. Potential foot injury for him. Yolani Bayo comes on. Malone has to switch to the playmaker role, and we all know that significantly weakens the team. This is just turning into a disaster month, isn't it? I feel like, and I know this seems weird, only being 3 points off second, maybe I'm overreacting, but I feel like we have to get out of here soon because I can only see this club going one way. We've got a lot of ageing players. We've got a lot of injury-prone players compared to normal now. And the wages are going up for average ones. Ben Williams not able to get work done early in the summer. We're struggling to score goals. And I just don't see that we're going to be able to improve on what we did in the second season. And that means that our reputation will only decline. As Peters gets the ball to Edge on the left. Back to the fullback again. If we can nick a win here though, we get into a good position. And maybe we start to look on things a bit more positively. Depends on the injuries, of course. As Harrington heads away to Murphy for our visitors. They come over halfway, completely unopposed. This is what we're missing in the team this year. And we've got some real players that can do it. That was Sam Jones working all the way back there. And now he's not at the other end of the pitch for the clearance. Where on earth is that bite? We were winning tackles before. The goalkeeper was actually diving to try and save shots before. Coley's had an awful month. Why Sam Jones was having to chase back on the left there when Malone, Edge, Peters all should have been making a challenge. I don't get it. I don't understand what's changed tactically because I haven't made the change. And while teams could be finding us out, I accept that. A left back not knowing to be in the left channel and chase a right winger is bordering on failure at Sunday League level. And it means that although our opponents, like today, only having one shot on target, having far less of the game, they're giving up very good chances. And it becomes a bit of a problem. So I'm going to sort out this tactical stuff because Kane Lewis has been given an individual instruction, which is stupid. So maybe we'll turn them off as well. But what else can I do to improve this performance? We've got Steve Peters at left back who's not been great. Godden, his sub, is nervous though. This time I've brought in Jones to the starting lineup. He's playing poorly. I can't win. I cannot win. I'm going to bring on Cassidy for Jones. I'm going to bring on Godden for Peters at left back. I'm not taking off Nick Roberts because he scored late goals for us in loads of games. But we're just turning into a side that is lacking in confidence. Coley's got a poor rating. He should have saved the goal. None of the strikers are in great form or consistent form. And we're picking up big injuries to stars in midfield. I don't know how we're going to bounce back from this. I know it's hard to grasp when you're sort of just watching an episode every month or two, and I try my best to portray what's going on behind the scenes at the club. But I do feel that we're edging towards crisis here with Cefn Druids. Few players unhappy, like Bayo throwing his toys out the pram. If Carey's injury's bad, he's going to have to start for ages now. Rio Dyer flicks on for Roberts though. Can we nick a point in the last minute of stoppage time? Dyer delivers. Cassidy's in the middle. Oh, he's done it. That is get out of jail free and more. 1-1 in the 93rd minute. It just about keeps us in the mix. If we'd lost, you could argue Connah's Quay were out of sight. But it's not a good performance again. We just don't look like a side that's ever going to win a game. It feels like a fluke every time we do. Like that, it felt like an undeserved fluky point at the end. But we're not in form and we're getting points. If we can do that and then find some form in January, maybe get a signing or two, things will start to look an awful lot more positive. The question, though, is how long is Josh Carey's injury? It is 2 to 3 weeks. It's not great over Christmas because if we go and have a look at the schedule, in the next 3 weeks we face Connah, Port Talbot twice, Bala Town United and the League Cup semi-final against Pennybont. So it's going to be a difficult time. We need work in January. We need one or two just to add to the squad. And we need to get a goal scorer. If we had a top-class striker, I think we'd run away with a few games. But at the moment, we're just not producing. What we're going to do, though, is skip ahead to January. I'll keep my eye out on the job front because the Cefn Druids time, it feels like it's slowly coming towards an end. Feels like the beginning of the end, to be honest. What we're going to do, though, is try and get through Pennybont in the semi-final. If we do, we'll be back for the final of the League Cup in the middle of January. If not, we'll come back for transfer deadline day and whatever the first fixture is after the league split. If you did enjoy this one though, a good comeback performance in a cup against Bala and a last-ditch equaliser against Connah's Quay, please do put a thumbs up on it. Let me know in the comments what you think, because defensively, this is the weakest we've ever been. We've now gone over 2 months without keeping a clean sheet in a competitive game, and I find it really frustrating. Going forward, we're so inconsistent. And we are creating chances, but are they great ones? Are our strikers in form? I think I might have to have a big delve into the data hub this winter. If you're looking forward to the rest of the season though, and you do want to stay up to date, subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on. We're on to our normal schedule this week, so tomorrow it'll be a transfer special from Hemel Hempstead at 3:30, and then the head coach will be back on Wednesday. I'm hoping for a cup final and some big transfer news. Either that or a new job. I'll take either at this point. Please do keep your eyes peeled for FM22 mobile content. That'll be starting tomorrow morning as soon as I can download it and get an episode edited. But a massive thank you for coming along, for supporting the channel as always. There's links in the eye above to any of the playlists and videos you might have missed, as well as our football podcast and the Twitch channel too. Regular live streams there, including tonight at 6 PM. We've got Football Manager and an FA Cup watch along. But thank you for watching as always. It is greatly appreciated. And I'll see you next time as we require Ben Williams' assistance again. Can he deliver? I'll see you there to find out.